Hey Kerbal Space friends, how's everybody doing? And welcome to this week's Kerbal Space Program video. Not that I really make one every week, but okay. So what we have here is a VTOL. You guys have seen this one before, it was in my last video. And I wanted to talk about today was different kinds of crafts. So there's a VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing. Takes off straight up and down, lands straight up and down, can fly around otherwise. Helicopters are technically VTOLs, things that hover are technically VTOLs, etc, etc. Now you can make VTOLs in a lot of different ways. You can make them little, you can make them have pushers, not have pushers, have control wheels, have wings, have not have wings. There's another kind of VTOL here. This is referred to as a tail sitter. So it takes off straight up, flies around like a plane, then lands. And these have the advantage that they can fly conventionally okay, and then land, stuff like that. And, well, usually we tend to make them pretty small, but they don't have to be small. This is a pretty effective one. It does amphibious landing. It has landing gear. It's actually not that bad to control. This one I set it up to be a cargo craft. And right now what it's holding is this big huge bomb that I can drop. This one works pretty well, actually. But anyway, these are VTOLs. Now, in my second to last video, not the last video, the one before that, I made another kind of craft and I called it a VTOL, but it kinda isn't. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what is referred to as a STOVAL. STOVAL. Very good. Okay, so STOVAL stands for short takeoff, vertical landing. Some real life STOVALs you might have seen in your days are like the Harrier jet or the JSF, the Joint Strike Fighter that's being developed. Those kind of planes. That's like, for example, the plane that fired missiles at John McClane in one of those last Die Hard movies. Now, STOVALs have some characteristics that need noting. So first of all, they are capable of standard flight, which is more fuel efficient and faster. You know, they have wings and control surfaces and all that. They are capable of hovering, and they're also capable of landing on pretty much anything, like a helicopter. Now, if you see this one, you see it's loaded to the gills with these little bombs. These bombs, I strategically weighted them so that neither with just the pushers as a regular plane, nor with just the lifters like a VTOL would allow me to take off. It's just too much weight. But that's kind of one of the defining characteristics of a STOVAL. It can not only take off with more weight than its aggregate parts, but it can do so in a short distance. Have you guys noticed that we keep falling through the runway? I don't know when that started happening, but I've been falling through the runway a lot lately. As soon as I start moving, I'm going to pop out, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, even if I don't, here we go. So, with everything firing, I got something blown off. Half of the bombs, whatever. Bug. So with all the engines firing, I can take off in a very short distance with the payload and transition to conventional flight with all my bombs pretty easily. So there we go, I'm in conventional flight mode. The pushers are the only thing powering the plane. The lifters are shut down. They're still gimbaling, but they're not actually on. There's those lifters. And then I can, do a bombing run of the vehicle assembly building. I always drop these too early or too late. I'm a terrible bomber. There we go. That wasn't bad. I've done worse. Didn't destroy it. And now I'm way lighter, way faster, and can head home after accomplishing a mission of bombing a defenseless target. And I can, when we bring this in, transition to VTOL mode, so to speak, and land anywhere that the craft will actually physically fit. I also like putting multiple wheezes like that because you can brake if you're going really fast. I love the thrust reversing. And there we go. So that's why STOVALs kind of exist. So in some downtime that I had recently, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but between my last video and my second to last video there was a couple of months, all sorts of things happened. I moved, I bought a new laptop, my headset died, so I had to buy a new mic. Just stuff, shenanigans, right? During that time, I just sat down and made different STOVALs. Some of them work really well, like this one. Some of them, based on that design, work okay. This one is more of an experiment in engine placement than it is a working STOVAL. It flies okay, but it's a little uncomfortable to fly. And during all this, I started, doing specific things with the STOVALs, flying them certain places, doing certain things, landing on certain places, and I came up with kind of a little fun challenge that I want to put out to you guys. So I want us to build the fastest STOVAL we can that can fly out to the other airfield. At the other airfield, we're going to transition to hover mode, fly through both hangars, so in one hangar, around and out the other, then come back to the Kerbal Space Center and land on top of the vehicle assembly building. I've been doing this for the last week with some different ones that I designed, and I've gotten down to 3 minutes and 41 seconds. That's my best time. I'm of course gonna expect you guys not to take my word for it, and I will make a video showing how I did it. In the meantime, here we're looking at some other STOVALs that I've been making. In the meantime, some of them very small, some of them very fast, some of them very slow. So for the challenge, here are the 3 that I made. This is the very first one that I used. So I wanted Weasleys because braking is a problem. So you fly to the other space center, and you're sometimes moving faster than the speed of sound, and now all of a sudden you have to hover through hangars, do a U-turn, come out through another one, and then come home. So having the Weasleys with the thrust reversing was a pretty useful thing, but also having the whiplash to get supersonic was fun. And this one was okay. It's a little hard to control, and the staging, not the staging so much, but the action groups, to have this shut down and these go into thrust reverse mode and then transition from pusher to lifter and back, got a little complicated. I figured it out, but it wasn't fun. And I wasn't that fast. So I decided to see what happens if I could stack some more Weasleys, and I came up with this thing. You guys can probably see it has aerodynamic problems. This was not very easy to fly at all. It works, but it didn't work very well. Then I thought to myself, this was of course before I made that big huge VTOL, but why'd it have to be so small? Let's make something big and fast. And this is the one that I've been getting the best results with. So it's based on 4 whiplashes, and it has the double Panthers with a couple of Junos in a bay that I can open and close, because that actually does affect the aerodynamics of it. And this is the one that I've had the most success with. So let's take it for a spin. I have enough time to give it a run, so I'm gonna try to record my best run and post it in one of my upcoming videos. But this is basically the mission. So I'm gonna take off in STOVAL mode, which is actually very easy when you don't have payload. Now this is of course just the way I do it, but I wait till after the tower and then turn towards the other space center. I'm going to shut down the lifters and close the bay doors so that the aerodynamics smooth out. You actually see it change. And now I'm going to fly at almost twice the speed of sound towards the other space center. At high speeds it gets a little hard to control sometimes. And it tends to want to nose down into the water sometimes too. So, before I crash. Now this is what I'm working on, is the procedure to best do this. How far away do I shut down the pushers, open that up, power up the lifters, and do what I need to do to slow down. So this kind of U-turn maneuver has worked for me. And then I can try to line up my flight through the hangar. This run's already messed up because I did this braking wrong and ended up very far from the hangars. My best times have been when I can do a braking maneuver like that but end up, hovering right in front of the hangar. So I can just bring it in. Now here's the tricky part. You don't want to be going too fast through the hangars, or else you can't do the U-turn and come out the other side, right? You also don't want to hit the hangars, which I just did. What did I blow off? One of the fins. I won't need that too much. This is already a terrible run. Now, once you're kind of pointed out the other end, I turn on the pushers and crash into the hangar again. And this is a disaster. It's about to get worse. This thing's stable even though it's all messed up. Let's see, can I get this under control? Apparently not. And there's no survivors. Oh my goodness. So anyway. That only took 2.5 minutes. That was terrible. That's kind of the challenge. The difficult parts are, like I was saying, the braking, the hovering in one way, coming out the other. And then we have it to do it all over again because we have to fly as fast as possible back to the vehicle assembly building and land on top of it. So, yeah, like I said, my best time so far has been 3 minutes and 41 seconds. I will show you guys that in a future video. And while I have a couple of minutes here, I just wanted to run something by you guys. I'm going to try this one more time, and I'm going to talk to you guys about something while I do. Kerbal Space Program, in this day and age, being the age of the internet and online gaming and everything else, is rigidly, painfully single player. And that's something that, for myself and probably a lot of other you guys that love video games, love this game, but understand how next level online gaming is, I think we're struggling with that a little bit. So I don't really know what to do about it. But what I was thinking is, my channel's, modest. I don't have thousands upon thousands of people. And you guys can tell by my channel name that I'm not too worried about privacy. I mean, my full first name and last name is on my channel. What I was thinking is, in the description of this video, I'm going to put my Steam name. You guys add me as Steam friends. You guys can see when I'm playing Kerbal Space Program, which is often. I can see which of my subscribers are playing Kerbal Space Program, and you can send me Steam messages with questions about stuff. I'll be happy to answer them if I know. We can share screenshots, I can upload files, that kind of thing. And, get a little Kerbal Space Program community going. I mean, there is a Kerbal Space Program community, but it's very arm's length. I've never spoken, in a live chat or Skype call or anything with a single one of my subscribers. It just hasn't never happened. And I wish it had. I just kind of wish it had happened before. So, yep, that's going to happen. I'm going to put in the description of this video my Steam name. This is a risky maneuver, but it's one of the better ways to lose altitude because I'm too high. I don't want to end up over that side. See, these are the problems that this challenge creates. Sometimes you're coming in too fast, sometimes you're coming in too high. The really good times come from braking rather than, how fast you fly. But then again, that's the problem with this one being based on whiplashes instead of Weasleys. But the whiplash is so much faster. I mean, the Weasley one was easier to get there and back, but it was not that fast. Okay, did I hit it this time? Nope. And this will very likely get me killed. Or not. There we go. Now when you come out the other side of this thing, remember the KSC is pretty much aligned with this big mountain in the background. You can already see it there in the distance. Time 2 minutes and 40 some seconds. Yeah, I'm behind. That braking maneuver killed me, time wise. And now it's running weird. There we go. So yeah, I hope to chat with you guys soon. See what plans you guys come up with this challenge. I've never gotten a video response. I've never had anybody film something in Kerbal Space Program as a response to something that I've done and uploaded it, just posted it. You know, I'd love to see what you guys are up to. Of course, Intern Veos don't count because they make their own videos all the time. None of them have ever been in a direct response to anything I'm doing. But for, you know, all of you guys that aren't monstrously famous YouTubers that play Kerbal Space Program, I mean, just getting a free version of FSplit or something to record your videos and uploading them as a response to my YouTube channel would be greatly appreciated, especially if I'm, you know, setting off challenges and stuff. So yeah, by this time on that last run, I was already down 20 seconds ago. Whoa! What the heck was that? Input error. Up, come on. Okay, there we go. And this landing. Sticking this landing is also a time saver. And there we are. So 4 minutes and 36 seconds. Horrible. Horrible. I could have cut a minute off of that easy. So yeah, can't wait to see what you guys do. I'm going to start accepting every Steam request I get. Hope to chat with you guys soon. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers. And fly safe, unlike me.